Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 1, and this is the debut of the newest Kamen Rider in the Reiwa era. And he was cool. He was fine. It didn't hit me as much as Geets did, but it was cool. I so far I like the world that they're trying to build, even though like the pacing in this episode was actually really fast. Like we got to it quickly. I mean, like other ride. I'm solely speaking on Reiwa right now. Other Reiwa writers have also done that, where it's like, the pacing in the first episode was really fast, but and it worked. But this also worked, but it did a lot. It was showing us a lot. Like this world that they're building up seems like it's going to be very sporadic and very expressive and very colorful, and also very toy driven and car driven, because this episode was like a huge like commercial for like, hey, buy these cards, buy this freaking Hopper figurine. Like it was like they showed Hopper as like not CGI'd, but like, well, he was CGI'd, but they showed a scene where he's being held by our main character, and he is like, and it's like a whole, like it's like a whole freaking toy. Like it was huge. Like this thing is just building, like it just felt, a lot of it just really felt like the whole like toy commercial type thing going on. But in this episode, we basically see that our main character, he is a student in high school. He is basically a student in school, and his catchphrase is "Gotcha," and basically it's his whole thing of be like, "Yeah, I got it, I did it," stuff like that. Like he's not really, he's not like super. He's not like super happy and giddy and stuff like that. He's like an in between. Like he's like that, but he's like on a lower tier of it, and I like him so far. He has this whole thing about like what he wants his like career to be. We see that when he goes to school and his teacher is like, what's your career path? And he doesn't know what his career path is going to be. And we get introduced to another character. Her name was Kudo. Kudo. Or was it Koda? It was Kudo. And she seems like she's kind of a dick. I don't know. She came off as kind of a dick, but at the same time, like, she also didn't know what her career path and stuff like that was. And she seems like she's kind of mysterious and stuff, but she's also kind of mean to our main character. She's kind of like like blunt and brutal to him at first, but he also later on tries to go back and give her some words about like, hey, I didn't like what you said to me back then. And that's actually pretty cool. I'm actually like glad that he actually had the mental capacity to understand that someone just said something messed up to him, instead of him just saying, "What'd you say?" Like he wasn't mad or whatever, but it's just, and also like some people's facial expressions, like their facial expressions weren't like kind of matching some of their some of their instances, like some of their situations that they were going through, especially Kudo. Like she seemed kind of bland, like she was kind of flat, and I don't know if that's like the direction that they told her to go in, or like she just, maybe, I mean, it's the first episode, so maybe she'll get better as it goes. But we did see in this episode, we see this old dude who is running from our, I guess they're about like our three main protagonists right now, and there's three sisters, and you obviously know that the little girl is the leader of them, and they have like these like weird, like, it feels like Egyptian tribal type of powers. And they look dope. Don't get me wrong, they look dope. But they're chasing him, trying to get the Gotchard driver from him. Trying to get the Gotchard driver from him, and he's running from them. He's able to use like the cards themselves to like summon all the different creatures that come out of the cards. He's able to summon them, and they're able to fight for him. And while they're fighting for him, he actually is actually able to fend them off enough for him to summon the train, the steamliner, actually able to summon the steamliner so he can jump on it, and he does end up getting away. We see that our main character does go and follows the girl Kudo, and she was able to like use her hand to like, and she says like an incantation. She basically says like an incantation, and she ends up going stacking some stuff up and end up going into like this secret door. And when she goes into this secret doorway, we see our main character is following her, and he ends up going through the door that she goes through disappears, but he ends up going through another door, and that's when he ends up coming in contact with Hopper. And Hopper is not in his card form right now, but he ends up coming in contact with Hopper, and he ends up taking Hopper like with him, and he's talking to Hopper, and he said he thinks that Hopper is trying to like talk to him, and he ends up giving Hopper like his leftover food, and then that's when Hopper ends up liking him, and Hopper screams. Hopper does like this huge scream, and he calls the steamliner. And we see that the steamliner is just this big train, and your boy's just traversing through the freaking city, all like dang near offing people, and I guess essentially he's looking for our main character. I guess, and we see that he actually has been like chosen and stuff like that. And we see that Kudo does try to fight off Steamliner. We see that she has like this blue ring that she puts on, which really reminded me a lot of Wizard. How she's able to she takes her ring off and she puts it on another finger, and then she has like a henshin where she transforms, and she has like this cloak that she's wearing, and then she's able to attack Steamliner by using, she takes a bunch of leaves, sets them on fire, and like attacks Steamliner with it and things like that. And we see that Steamliner we see that our main character does end up saving Kudo from getting hit by Steamliner. He jumps on the back of Steamliner, he's riding him, and then that's when Steamliner ends up taking him to this pocket dimension. And in this pocket dimension, it looks like it looks like one of the pocket dimensions that the old dude was in. It kind of looked the same as that, but we do see that there are also going to be other portals and other pocket dimensions that we're going to see throughout this season so far. And when you see these pocket dimensions, they have like a bunch of beakers and a bunch of like chemical looking type stuff. Like there's giant beakers everywhere full of like the different colored liquids. So our main character does end up meeting the old dude that we saw in the beginning of the episode, and we see that he says that Hopper and Steamliner have basically chosen him to be like be Gotchard, and he gets ready to hand him the Gotchard driver, but then he ends up getting attacked by our three antagonists again, and one of them decide, the real aggressive one, she's a real aggressive chick, and she ends up attacking them. The old dude ends up like piecing out. He ends up getting faded away by our three antagonist girls, and he passes on the 2 cards and the gotcha driver to our main character. When he gives it to him, he ends up going back to his regular world, where a lot of the creatures that came out of the cards are called chemis, and all the chemis have basically just been thrown out into the city. We even see one of the chemis get captured and absorbed by the aggressive chick. Ends up getting absorbed by her, and she transforms into a monster that represents the chemi that she just absorbed. And the chemi that she absorbed was like a praying mantis, so she ends up turning into like a mantis type creature. And that's when she starts attack. That's when we see our main character and Kudo are trying to like basically fight her off. We see that he ends up using the gotcha driver to transform into a like big hopper train form. He looks like a grasshopper, but he has like train. It's like a fusion, and is making some freaking comparisons to another writer that I will get into later. But he ends up doing that, and you see that he ends up transforming into his actual Kamen Rider Gotchard form, which this suit does look very dope. Very metallic, very shiny, like chrome colored, super trained-esque. We see that in his chest plate he has like it has like the kennel, like the kennel that you put the coal in for trains. Like it's like in the steam liner, it's a steam train. He's not like a bullet train or anything like that. So he has like the kennel to the train in his chest, like it's flaming. He has the goggles and stuff like that. I feel like the goggles, I think the goggles were CGI'd. I don't think they were actually a real thing at first. But yeah, so we see that he ends up fighting her, and the fight he has with her is kind of cool. Some of his hits didn't feel impactful. Like when he was hitting her at some points, they didn't feel that much impactful until you get to like the tail end where he hits her with like a 3-piece combo, and then he hits her with this really cool and flashy rider kick. I doubt it's going to be like that for long, but he has a really cool rider kick. He ends up rider kicking her, and he knocks the Kimmy that she's fused with out of her, and he takes a blank card, and then he recaptures that Kimmy. He saves that Kimmy from her, and now he has 3 Kimmys with him, and she ends up leaving, and that's when she ends up leaving, and that's when his friend who I didn't mention earlier, but he has a homeboy who was trying to tell him that like monsters are real. He runs up to him and he says, "Hey man, look, monsters are real. I took a picture." And he's looking at his phone. He took a picture of Steamliner, and then out of nowhere, his memory get erased, and then the photo that he took gets erased, and he forgets everything that will happen. His memory, he forgets everything. He said, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow." Turns out, Kudo is an alchemist, and their teacher, who we saw earlier in the episode, who were talking about their career paths and stuff, he is also an alchemist. His ring was red, and he actually transforms and shows like what he really looks like, and we find out that humans connecting with gimmies hasn't happened for the last 120 years. So this is a lot. The episode basically ends off right there with him now being Kamen Rider Gotchard, and yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, like I said before, it didn't hit me as much as episode 1 of Geats did, because I'm still on this Geats high. Like after a series ends, you kind of just want more from it. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get the movie later, but at the same time, I'm still on this Geats high. I missed the Fox already. I really missed the Fox. But Gotchard's here. We got another Grasshopper rider. Grasshopper Reiwa rider. The one before was 01. But yeah, I mean, he's cool. I like the story that they're trying to build right now, because even though like this episode with the pacing was kind of everywhere, but it kind of worked. I mean, like it was fun watching it. Some camera stuff that was going on was kind of weird. Like they when Gotchard was fighting the Mantis chick, like the camera quality kind of dipped. I don't know if that was from what I was watching it or something like that, but the camera quality kind of dipped. And yeah, but other than that, I like what they're building up, and I don't know. It's a first episode, so it's not that much to say, because we don't know these characters yet, and we don't know how these characters are going to change and develop so far. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about episode 1 of Kamen Rider Gotchard? What do you think about the aesthetics? What do you think about the story they're trying to build right now? Do you think this is just a big, huge, like freaking toy commercial because all the cards and all the other stuff that they showed off, especially with all the Kimmies, And also his bike was running around. So his bike has arms, and his bike, it runs around saying "Rush." Like these Kimmies, they feel like Pokemon, because when you throw them out, they speak and act like Pokemon. Like Hopper just screams out Hopper over and over again, like it's a Pokemon, like it's a freaking bug type. But yeah, but I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Remember, as I always say, stay hinged.